Corruption, it's a word that leaves a bad taste in your mouth, like finding out your dentist secretly hates teeth. But it's a reality we face globally. Think of it as a disease, a cancer eating away at the fabric of societies. From rigged elections to shady business deals, corruption undermines trust and fairness. Corruption doesn't care about borders. It doesn't discriminate between rich and poor nations. It's a global epidemic, infecting every level of society, from local officials to multinational corporations. The consequences, they're far-reaching and devastating. We're talking about erosion of public trust, economic instability, and increased poverty. Corruption thrives in the shadows, but its impact is felt by everyone. It's time to shine a light on this pervasive issue and explore ways to combat it. Corruption wears many masks. It can be as blatant as a bribe slipped under the table or as subtle as a politician favoring family members for government contracts. Let's break down some common forms of corruption. Bribery. This classic form involves offering or accepting something of value to influence decision-making. Imagine a company greasing the palms of a government official to secure a lucrative contract. Not cool. Embezzlement. This involves stealing funds or resources entrusted to someone's care. Think of a corrupt official siphoning off public funds meant for schools or hospitals. Outrageous. Fraud. This involves deception for financial gain. Imagine a company cooking its books to mislead investors. Totally not cricket. Nepotism. This involves showing favoritism to relatives or close friends in hiring or promotions, regardless of merit. It's like giving your unqualified buddy a high-paying government job. Not exactly fair play, is it? Why does corruption persist? What creates fertile ground for this societal disease to flourish? Well, it's a complex cocktail of factors. One major ingredient is lack of transparency and accountability. When governments operate in secrecy and officials aren't held responsible for their actions, corruption thrives. It's like leaving a tray of freshly baked cookies unattended in front of a group of toddlers. Chaos and crumbs everywhere. Another contributing factor is weak institutions and rule of law. When laws are poorly enforced and institutions are easily manipulated, corruption takes root. It's like playing a board game where the rules are made up and the points don't matter. Social and cultural norms also play a role. In some societies, bribery or favoritism might be seen as acceptable or even necessary to get things done. This normalization of corruption makes it even harder to eradicate. Section 4, Trust eroded, the social cost of corruption. Corruption is like termites gnawing away at the foundation of a house. It might not be immediately visible, but over time, the damage becomes irreparable. One of the most insidious effects of corruption is the erosion of public trust. When citizens lose faith in their leaders, institutions, and the rule of law, it creates a climate of cynicism and apathy. People become disillusioned, feeling like their voices don't matter and that the system is rigged against them. This lack of trust can have a ripple effect on civic engagement. People might be less likely to vote, participate in community initiatives, or report wrongdoing. Corruption breeds a sense of helplessness and resignation, making it even harder to address societal problems. Section 5. Economic quicksand, corruption's toll on development. Corruption isn't just a moral issue, it's an economic one. It's like trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. Corruption siphons off resources that could be used for essential services like healthcare, education, and infrastructure. When corrupt officials embezzle funds or demand bribes for public contracts, it diverts money away from projects that could benefit the entire population. This leads to shoddy infrastructure, inadequate healthcare, and underfunded schools, perpetuating cycles of poverty and inequality. Corruption also creates an uneven playing field for businesses. When companies have to bribe officials to secure permits or win contracts, it stifles innovation and competition. Small and medium-sized enterprises, often the backbone of developing economies, are hit particularly hard, unable to compete with larger, more corrupt competitors.